So I'll call the East Lyme Board of Selectmen meeting to order. Thank you all for coming this evening. Today is the 7th of August, 2019. We usually start with a Pledge of Allegiance. We did that once already this evening, but I think it's appropriate to do it again tonight. So let's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Wonderful. Are there any additional agenda or consent items this evening? I don't believe so. Okay. We're privileged and honored that you're here this evening. You're here for a specific purpose, more than likely, than the rest of our boring agenda. But the top of it is a pinning ceremony and then some proclamations to give to our great firefighters in the town of East Lyme. We'd like to start a new tradition. It's high time we do this, and it was pointed out to our two great chiefs in our town that we have never really had a formal pinning ceremony, and we're doing that tonight. So I'm going to let the two chiefs take over. Chief Dwyer, Chief Ricks, would you come on up to the podium and lead us into this pinning ceremony? Sandy, could you get the door? And Ann, could you get the door? It's a little loud and back. Thank you. So much better.
All right, thanks everybody for coming tonight. Like the first selectman said, we've never had a badge pinning before for the full-time firefighters, and we're going to try and start doing that from now on to recognize their service to the town, like the cops get sworn in, and so do the officials of the boards and zoning commissions and stuff like that. To start off tonight, for the Flanders Fire Department, firefighter, John, can you come up here? All right. On August 7th tonight, 2019, firefighter John Foyer was born on March 6, 1987 in New London at L&M Hospital to his parents Gary and Catherine Foyer. John grew up in East Lyme, attending and graduating from East Lyme High School. John first started volunteering for the town of East Lyme in May of 2002 with the Flanders Fire Department when he was 15 years old. 11 years later, he became a part-time firefighter for the town, also working out of the Flanders Fire Department. Over the years, John has been constantly striving to obtain a position as a career firefighter for the town of East Lyme. During that time, he has held the ranks of lieutenant, captain, assistant chief, and currently is the deputy chief of the Flanders Fire Department. Tonight, he will be sworn in as the town's 10th full-time firefighter, and he will be assigned to work at the Flanders Fire Department. Tonight, John will be pinned by his fiancée, Caitlin, and son, Jackson. Congratulations and good luck and a happy and safe career as you protect the residents and guests of the town of East Lyme.
Jackson, real blood.
Easy. Yeah.
That's a nice
Let's
picture.
not push too hard, please.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
You didn't practice this at home?
I don't have my own.
You want your own? No, this isn't for you, sweetheart.
Tracy, watch behind you. John, why don't you introduce the people who came out to support you tonight?
This is my fiance, Caitlin, my son, Jackson, and my mother, Kat.
Welcome all.
Welcome. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right. Christopher Lindecker, CJ. Firefighter Christopher C.J. Lindecker was born on October 11th, 1996 in New London at L&M Hospital to his parents Willard and Catherine Lindecker. C.J. grew up in East Lyme, attending and graduating from East Lyme High School. After high school, he continued his love for baseball, attending college at the University of Connecticut at Avery Point campus, and then transferring to the University of New Haven, where he studied for a degree in fire science arson investigation. At the age of 19, he became a member of the Flanders Fire Department. He attended courses through the state of Connecticut, obtaining many certifications, including Firefighter 1, and receiving a certification as a nationally registered emergency medical technician. At the old age of 22, CJ received his job offer with the town of East Lyme, achieving his career goal as becoming a full-time firefighter for the town of East Lyme, wearing badge number 11, and is currently stationed at the Nyack Fire Department on B shift. CJ will be pinned by his mother, Catherine. Congratulations and good luck on a happy and safe career protecting the residents and guests of the town of East Lyme. Congratulations. There you are.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Welcome aboard.
CJ, you too shall introduce your people here supporting you.
This is my mother, Catherine, and my father, William.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. I thought you might have another one. Great. CJ has a mean fastball. I did a little coaching in Little League, and CJ did a lot of pitching.
And you did a little coaching.
A little coaching. Yeah. Ready for those? Yeah. We will also bring forth proclamations because we need to start traditions like this. Because the town is hugely grateful for you men and women and the families that support these men and women in our fire services and emergency services. We are grateful for what you do. We know the volume and the intensity of what you're doing has increased tenfold in the last couple of decades. We understand that. We hear about it here. We witness you when we drive by or see you or hear a siren go by the town hall when we're deep in a boring meeting. We know you're out there protecting and serving, and again, this community is grateful for what we have and who you are. So we have some proclamations, and I'm not going to read the dozen proclamations, but I'll read one and then have you all come up, and we'll line you up, and that'll be a great photo op. And we know you're supported here by family. William Allen began working for the town of, and I'm doing this in order. So William Allen, you begin, your name was Bill. Your last name starts with an A, so you're the guy. Began working the town of East Lyme on November 30th, 1992, and is currently serving the town, community, and its guests. He currently works as a firefighter EMT for the town of East Lyme, stationed at the Niantic Fire Department. He has worked tirelessly to understand the needs of the community and how the town of East Lyme can best meet these needs. William Allen III has also demonstrated throughout his life and career a sense of deep responsibility, pride in doing the right thing, whether it be for his family, his community, or the fire service. Now, therefore, I, Mark Nickerson, First Selectman of the town of East Lyme, do hereby officially recognize with gratitude William Allen III to honor his dedication and service to the citizens of East Lyme for 27 years of full-time career service. Why don't you come up, Bill, and I should be doing this up front, shouldn't be doing this sitting down. Again, I'm starting traditions, we don't know what to do yet. But Bill, thank you, 27 years of service, and you're not stopping now. Keep going. Thank you. Dave Conley here tonight. I didn't see Dave Conley. We'll give him this. He has 37 years of dedicated service starting on May 17th, 1982. How about a round of applause for Dave? Wick Halen, says William here. Is that the same guy? All right. You started recently, but you spent a lifetime doing this. On April 4th, 2018, you joined the Better Force, the East Lyme firefighters. And so we appreciate you being here. Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Tom Redden. There you are. Come on up, Tom. Again, a new face, and we probably should have done this pinning ceremony when we brought Tom in a little while ago in Wick. You started October 1st, 2017. Tom Redden, for your dedication and service to the citizens of the town of East Lyme, congratulations. Bill G. Ricks, is that you?
Yeah.
Come on up, Bill. Well, I don't know whose middle initial, but he's over here, and I figured you were there. Bill's got 37 years of service to our town, starting on May 20th, 1982, as a firefighter EMT for the town of East Lyme. 37 years. I didn't see Ed Waito tonight.
He's attending another meeting.
Okay. September 1st, 2000, he started with the town of East Lyme firefighters. That's 19 years of service. How about a round of applause for him? Items. I saw you up there. 15 years of full-time service, starting July 5th, 2004. Again, 15 years of service. We appreciate all you do for our town. Our families, thank you for the support that you give these men. And this is a great time for a photo op. If the families that are here to support would like that photo op, here's your opportunity. Smile.
I feel like I'm in a lineup.
First time?
Yeah.
Get the other guys. Come on up.
It's not over yet.
Photo op.
Yeah, so the other gentlemen and women that are in our fire service, why don't you come on up? You may not know you're here tonight.
Stay next to me, you look big.
Volunteers? No? Okay.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Keep up the good work, guys. Chiefs, you do that right? Good job. Close enough. The two chiefs are to be credited with a lot. They're working together. They're bringing fire services together, training. It's all about expense. It's all about the bottom line sometimes, unfortunately, in our business. The chiefs are working together like better than ever before, but things like this, again, this tradition should have been decades old, but we started tonight, and going forward, we have a tradition that we bring people forward for the town to see, whether it's TV or in an auditorium. People can see, and for the record, we're pinning our new guys, and the town's getting behind you. And we're grateful for your support. So parents and girlfriends and mothers and sons, you should be very proud tonight. So thank you for coming, and we appreciate you coming. We'll take a 30-second recess if you all want to clear the room and not listen to the rest of the boring part of the meeting. We appreciate you coming out tonight. We'll take this is 2 minutes. Yeah. Is it out? Yes, it's been out. Apologize for the lack of air. Thank you, Anna. All right, thank you.
That's the humidity.
Thank you. I'd like to add one item to our agenda this evening with the approval of the Board of Selectmen, that we have received an application for the Cable TV Advisory Board of someone who's willing to serve in our town. And I'd like to move that into the appointment section of 2C. We get the SQA reps, and then after that, we can talk about the Cable TV Advisory.
I'd like to, then
that-
I'll make the final, I'd like to move to add the appointment of Joseph X. Rice to serve as a member of the Cable TV.
Well, I don't,
No, I'm just going to add this to the agenda.
yeah, okay.
Okay.
So, okay. We're
Section?
Move to, make an appointment, move to,
right after 2C. Add Jim Rice or Joe Rice?
Joe Rice.
Joe Rice to Cable TV Advisory, an appointment.
so moved.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So we'll go back to the order of delegations. Would anyone like to speak? Adam Cheeseman? State Rep Cheeseman is here this evening.
Thank you, sir. Holly Cheeseman, 16 Mitchell Drive, Niantic. Brief update from the state. We were in special session on July 22nd to vote on some conveyances which the House had passed and the Senate neglected to do before they left, and to vote on the school construction projects. We are expected to be brought back to vote on a bill the governor vetoed regarding pay for restaurant workers. I believe a consensus has been reached on that. There's still talk about other special session requests. Bill was recently presented on gambling in the state that may have been precluded by a lawsuit filed by MGM today in federal court about the tribes and the East Windsor Agreement. Anyway, I'll keep you posted.
Thank you.
We await the call from Hartford. Just want to remind everyone, if they haven't already realized, the plastic bag 10-cent fee went into effect on August 1st. So for those single-use plastic bags, if the stores are still using them, there will be a 10-cent charge. So I encourage you to throw all your reusable bags in your car so you can use them. Also, and I'm sure this is probably on the town website, that bridge culvert reconstruction on Route 1 is going to be starting on Monday, August 12th. They're going to be replacing a culvert near Heritage Road. I believe the work will be ongoing through November, and for a 10 or 13-day period in October, from the 14th until the 27th, there will be detours in place. But as I say, I'm sure that's up on the town website. And I would like just to echo the first selectman's comments. We are so blessed to live in a town with so many wonderful volunteers. We saw sterling examples with the firefighters who were here. But this is everywhere in our town. And this is what makes this a wonderful place to live and makes me so incredibly proud to be able to represent you all in Hartford. So thank you all for your service, and enjoy the rest of the summer. It's speeding by. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll remind us. Thank you for coming this evening. Any other delegations? Approval of the minutes?
Move to approve the regular meeting minutes of July 10, 2019 as submitted.
I'll second.
Motion seconded. Comments, corrections? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? The special meeting?
Move to approve the special meeting minutes of July 24th, 2019 as submitted.
Second.
Motion second. Comments, corrections? Not much there, right?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Terrific. The consent calendar, please.
Move to approve the consent calendar for the meeting of August 7th, 2019, in the amount of $4,517.59.
Terrific.
Second.
I need a second. Great. Comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Sorry, I should have let you go. But now you can leave. Discussion and possible action of the harbor management ordinance and plan. While you're here, it was the advice that we'll wait on the the adoption of the ordinance until we get some clarification or some corrections.
Sure, and I did
firmly
speak to
planted.
Mr. Stedman tonight, and we'll get that straightened out,
That's
and you'll
great.
be able to vote at the next meeting.
It seems very minor, so
Yes.
absolutely, and we will
Yes.
not have to go back to public meeting or anything like that,
Yes.
because we're talking minor changes that were
Yes.
identified in the public meeting.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for your
you.
help and your assistance. This was a mighty task, not only for the harbor management, but also for you. I know it was.
Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Always good advice. Departmental transfers is $47,909.68 that we are asking to transfer from account to account. Mrs. Johnson is here to answer any questions that you might have on that.
I'll move to ratify departmental transfers in the amount of $47,909.68 processed for fiscal year end June 30, 2019, and to forward to the Board of Finance for approval.
I'll second.
Motion second. Any comments, questions? Pretty straightforward. It's the end of the year stuff. This is, as you see, fiscal year 18-19, the year that has ended, and we're trying to just make sure everything balances. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Terrific. The appointment of the SQUA, the Southeastern Connecticut Water Authority representatives of the town of East Lyme. Currently, myself and Carol Russell serve on that. To be honest, Carol attends, I think, many of the meetings, and I attend them sparingly, as she is our town representative. But when there's any major vote, I tend to attend. But we're asking for a reappointment for the two of us.
I'll move to appoint Mark C. Nickerson of 15 Jean Drive, East Lyme, Connecticut, and Carol Russell of, did something go wrong?
Nope.
Okay. And Carol Russell of 4 Bramble Bush Drive, Niana, Connecticut, to serve as members of the Southeastern Connecticut Water Authority through September 1 of 2021.
Oh, boy.
Second.
Thanks. Any comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Terrific. It's really a broad commission that has their own real authority on our town thing, but sometimes it's good to get the big picture of how all the different water authorities are working and when we can work together, and that's kind of the purpose of that meeting, because there is a finite amount of drinking water in our ground and in our reservoirs, so we want to make best use of it. Next on our agenda was what we placed in our agenda, which is we do have a vacancy. We've had one for quite some time on the Cable TV Advisory Board. We put a call out several times, and I was going to ask you and pound you guys a little to try to come up with someone this evening. But in the meantime, we received a resume, a rather extensive one, of someone who's willing to serve. And is seeking an appointment to this commission. We'll work with Mike Mines, who's, the man is a dedicated genius.
Oh, yeah, he is. He's fantastic.
And we're asking for your appointment this evening.
I'll move to appoint Joseph X. Rice, 468 Main Street, apartment 209, to serve as a member of the Cable TV Advisory Board for the town of East Lyme through January 3rd, 2022.
I'll second.
Thank you for that, and thank you. Any comments? He is unaffiliated, so, that solves any issues, naturally. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Terrific. We need the appointment of Attorney Willits to check the indices. So did I say that right?
Yes,
Indices.
indices. I'll move to appoint Attorney William Willits Jr. to examine the indices of the land records for calendar year 2019 in accordance with Connecticut General Statute, Section 7-14, for the sum of $2,000.
Second.
Motion and second. Any
Just
comments?
to thank Mr. Willits, Attorney Willits, for doing this year after year, because, and the fee is outrageous that he, he got away so cheap for this. He could have charged us a whole lot more, but, he's been a town resident forever, involved in Parks and Rec and so forth for years, so very
Part of his
supportive
service back to the town, we do
Yes.
appreciate his professional service and his home team discount, I guess. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? But meeting schedules have been light throughout the town because we are in the summer months. But are there any ex officio reports, Mr. Daigle?
Nothing ex officio wise, and the Public Safety Building Vision Committee has a meeting scheduled for next week to lay out our schedule to work through the design and the various steps that we've asked the selected design firm to meet out. So we'll lay that out next week, and at our next board meeting, I'll let you know what our schedule looks like for having the concept and then final design and getting us ready to go out to bid for actual construction.
Wonderful. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, Mr. Cunningham.
Last night I attended the Historic Properties Commission, and their focus was really trying to figure out what their role should be with respect to the three historic properties in town and how they can best serve the other entities that take care of those properties. And so I'm trying to come up with a way to be more effective, and with the also fundraising issues, trying to find ways to raise money for those properties. That's my report.
Thank you, Dan.
Now, Parks and Rec and Youth Services did not meet last month. They're meeting Thursday this week, so nothing from there.
Thank you. I got just a few things, just a recap of the last couple of weeks. There's been music all over town with up at the band shell on the beach. The beach music was canceled this evening because of the threat of storms, and I don't know if it's storming out yet, but we're due to get a heck of a rainstorm. Music every Friday night up at the band shell. If you missed the two plays that occurred last weekend, you missed some great good drama, good musical at the high school with the East Lyme Regional Theater, and down at the band shell with Rumors. Great momentum in both organizations. They're building crowds and building great talent as well. I attended an honor ceremony for Bob DeSanto, who is kind of a founding member of the East Lyme Public Trust. He helped build things like the band shell, the boardwalk, and all the things that Public Trust does for our town as a private entity. Bob has served our town well for decades and decades, and we had a little get-together and an honor for him before one of the music performances at the band shell a couple of Fridays ago. And I attended a ribbon cutting at Aces High. What? We've had Aces High in this town for 20-something years. Well, it's gone through some ownership changes, and Daniela, who now owns it, was managing it for quite a while from the original owner, and she owns it now with her family. And it's a proud town organization that brings people to town who spend money in our downtown, visit our beaches, visit our restaurants, and kind of a good thing. Hats off to the Harbor Management Group tonight. They were terrific. This Harbor Management book is years in the making, and hats off to them. Hats off to the firefighters and their families that came out tonight. What a nice thing to be able to do that. We have the little leaguers come in every once in a while or whatever, but this is over the top, and they brought their families out, and it was great. This Saturday, the Niantic Community Church is having a celebration of the 300th anniversary of the Niantic Community Church. And really, the town of East Lyme can draw its roots back to this moment because it was called the East Society Church of Lyme. So the East came out because all the people that lived here had to go over to Old Lyme or Lyme, and before that Old Saybrook, to go to church, and that was obviously a big deal, especially 300 years ago. And they said, we don't want to travel so far, so can we establish another congregation to the east? Now, we were part of Lyme, and we were called Lyme, so we were then the beginning of East Lyme. We think we can draw the name East Lyme from this event. The Niantic section of Lyme was settled in 1664, And in 1718, the people living in the Nahanta quarter of Lyme requested and were given authority by the colonial legislature to set up their own parish, which was named the Second or the East Ecclesiastical Society of Lyme. So we think that's where the East of Lyme comes from. And so on February 15th, 1719, 300 years ago, the first meeting of record was held, and the members voted to call the Reverend George Griswold as their minister, etc., etc., etc. Here we are 300 years later in the town of east of Lyme. Here we are. So they're going to have a celebration because that direct congregation is now the Niantic Community Church. So they're going to have a celebration on Saturday, and then a special service at their services on Sunday during their religious ceremonies. Three other things. Coming up later in the season, the kayak regatta is on August 17th. That usually launches from the Waterford side of the Niantic River. That's put on by the Friends of Oswegatchie Hills and the Save the River, Save the Hills groups. The Rotary Club wiffle ball tournament. Are you playing?
I'm not sure.
Me neither. Maybe we should play
should
together.
be there.
August 24th, down at Bridebrook. They raise money and they do good things in our town. August 24th, if you can get 6 or 8 people and form a team and donate $100, it would be appreciated. And that money gets put back into our community.
I think the question about the rain is.
And I think the rain's coming.
Been revealed.
Yeah.
And the Oyster Fest is gonna come back for a second round on October 12th. Mark your calendars, October 12th, Oyster Fest. We are not going to charge an admission this year. Your admission will be free. There'll be bands, there'll be things going on, and then you'll pay for the food and the oysters and the beer and all that stuff, and that will how we'll fundraise for our good causes. So that's what I have.
One thing I just happen to think, triathlon is this Sunday.
Triathlon is this
So
Sunday.
early in the morning, between 7 to probably 10, expect some traffic delays in, Columbus, Hay area, because that's always a
Yeah.
bit of a backup there.
They say it's over by like 10.
Yeah, that's
or
by 10
11.
o'clock.
People are done.
It's done, especially with the impact they would have on Columbus by. But it's always a lot of with St. Agnes. Sometimes it's a bit of a problem with people coming out of church on the roads.
Yeah, we're working with them on that and have
So-
extra police and extra traffic.
I just
on
thought of that.
That's what I have. That's the first Selectmen's report. Communications, but there are none since we've handled that. And public comment? Any public comment? If not, we'll take an adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
I'll second it too.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Go home. All right, thanks for tuning in.